Hello and welcome to this edition of Enugu State This Week, our weekly package that reviews major events that took place in the state. Of course, we had a lot within the week, ranging from environmental issues, drug and sundry matters, as well as sports, and it's time to avail you the ample space to have deeper tales of the stories. So thanks for your interest to move along with us. I remain your anchor, Precious Chukwuekezie. It was within the week under review that Enugu State government reiterated its commitment to investing in measures to prevent drug abuse and illicit trafficking. This, of course, came from the number one citizen of the state, Dr. Pitamba, at the event to commemorate 2024 International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking in Enugu. With the theme, Evidence is Clear, Invest in Prevention. Our correspondent, Chigozie Alex Nwanfo, now reports.
The governor, represented by the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Chukwuekezie, in a keynote address, said the state is prioritizing the fight against drug abuse and illicit trafficking, knowing its consequences in the state. He called on parents, community leaders, educators, among others, to join hands with governments, National Law Drug Enforcement Agency, and other enforcement agencies to promote war against drug abuse, WADA, for a healthy living.
The human cost is immeasurable, but the economic impact is undeniable. Drug abuse burdens our healthcare systems, it drains our resources, and it undermines public safety. However, as the team powerfully asserts, we do not have to succumb to despair.
Chairman of the occasion and the traditional ruler of Agnes Mmaku, Igwesi Nevolisa, represented by the traditional Prime Minister, High Chief Frederick Ngene, in an address read by the Palace Secretary, Dr. Obinna Chukwuekezie, maintained that drug is dangerous to the society, as most of the crises recorded in the state were under influence of dangerous drugs. He urged the youth to desist from illicit drugs.
What we need to do is that we tell people that this number of drugs, talk about marijuana, talk about what we call heroin, all this and all that, and they are drugs, they are dangerous for our use. And they care about the whole system, the society. That our youth are saved from that. And our men are saved from that.
Earlier, in an address of welcome, the State Commander, National Law Drug Enforcement Agency, Enugu Command, Ebel Wadahi, said the observance is of utmost importance to the global community in the continuous efforts to ameliorate the consequences of illicit substances and make a world a safer place. He said the State Command has put in place strategies to continue to arrest drug traffickers as well as seize all illicit drugs being peddled in the state.
Our prosecution efforts in Enugu State Command have continued to achieve successes in court, given the painstaking investigation and diligence in prosecution of cases. A total of 51 suspects were prosecuted and 85 cases are pending in court. Apart from convictions, assets of convicts used as instrumentality of crime or proceeds derived from drug trafficking were forfeited to federal government of Nigeria.
There were goodwill messages from the sister agencies who pledged to join hands with the agency to achieve its mandates. A lecture was presented by David Folarumi, while students from some secondary schools from Enugu Metropolis attended the event where they were urged to form parts of the agents of sensitization on the WADA. High point of the occasion was the decoration of governor as ambassador of WADA by the commander of the agency.
Enugu State Governor Dr. Peter Mba also in the week described gaming industry as a veritable sector for economic development and diversification, as well as job creation. The governor stated this while speaking at the 2024 Enugu State Gaming Conference with the theme Exploring the Future of Gaming, Innovation and Collaborations, held in Enugu. Now the reports.
Governor Mba, represented by the Deputy Barrister Ifeanyi Osai, said the conference provides a good opportunity for sharing knowledge and expertise and fostering a community-driven approach to advancing the gaming industry in the state. He noted that the landscape of gaming has changed significantly over the years, especially with the introduction of trends such as augmented reality, virtual reality, and blockchain integration, making gaming platforms easier to access and improving gaming experiences.
The gaming industry and the gambling industry, the landscape has shifted from the time when betting houses were in corner street shops, where people will walk to those betting shops, spend hours listening to BBC, wanting to know what has happened to games in England, with small manner of booklets, crossing lines and dotting it for gaming. But today, you're dealing with a gaming industry that is driven by technology. So you're now faced with issues that you have to deal in electronic environment, intellectual property in electronic environment, revenue generation in electronic environment, protection of the vulnerable people in electronic environment.
Earlier, the Executive Secretary, Enugu State Gaming and Lotto Commission, Prince Arinze Arum, said Enugu State is dedicated to promoting a culture of responsible gaming practices that will prioritize consumer welfare and minimize the potential for harm, which includes comprehensive education initiatives, stringent licensing requirements, and effective tools for monitoring and enforcement.
So, beyond that, we're also interested in revenue generation. So, and we're going to be working with the operators, with the industry stakeholders. I mean, you have witnessed the different presentations as been made. You see there's a whole lot that we can benefit from in gaming. And gaming is moving, from the traditional brick and mortar spaces to a more digitalized form, where you now have most of the games on
Precious Chukwuekezie for ESBS News.
Enugu State residents have been charged to plant trees as a way of conserving the environment and mitigating the adverse effects of climate change. Enugu State Commissioner for Environment and Climate Change, Professor Sam Ugu, gave the advice shortly after planting trees to commemorate the 2024 World Environmental Day with the theme Land Restoration, Desertification and Drought Resilience. Our correspondent, Chigozie Alex Mwafo, again reports.
World Environment Day is the United Nations Day for encouraging worldwide awareness and action to protect the environment. The Commissioner, while planting the trees in conjunction with Morrisburg Green Awareness Organization, says planting trees is not only beneficial to the environment but also improve people's physical and mental health. He said the importance of planting of trees cannot be overemphasized, reiterating the urgent need for everyone to focus on tree planting in order to contribute to efforts at mitigating climate change and creating a sustainable environment.
Planting of trees is part of the mitigation measures to reduce the negative effect of climate change in our society. And that's why I've said before that people should also queue up and plant trees around their houses to beautify the environment. one of the cardinal programs of this government, the government of Peter Mba, is that it wants to beautify Enugu State. We have a bigger program where we're going to plant from the airport road down to the Obara Avenue, down to New Market, and other major roads in Enugu State. So it's part of the beautification of Enugu State.
Also speaking, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Mr. Matu Abia, and the Head of Department, Conservation Ministry of Environment, Engineer Albert Ekete, said apart from beautifying the environment, tree planting equally helps in the healthiness of the environment, such as reducing air pollution, improving the urban environment, and reducing the devastating impacts of climate change.
It is very worthy that we plant trees, not only for ornamental, but for our own healthiness.
The contribution towards mitigating climate change. And I believe many of us know the need to contribute to society.
On her part, the representative of Morrisville Green Awareness Organization, Kenechukwu, and said the organization embarked on the green awareness to help in preserving the environment, saying that after the exercise, Enugu State will be among the greenest states in the country in the nearest future.
The organization embarked on this activity after seeing the high rise of tree cutting in the country, and there are no provisions to replant that trees. So we hope these events will hold over a period of 50, 100 years, and we hope Enugu State and all other states in the eastern part of Nigeria becomes the greenest states in the country.
The exercise saw the planting of over 200 indigenous and exotic trees to conserve the environment and increase climate resilience in the states. Chigozie Alex Mwa for ESBS News.
Also, in this episode of Enugu State This Week, Enugu State Governor Dr. Peter Mba dropped his motivational words for youths of the state, encouraging them to embrace leadership, pursue greatness, and to cultivate the mindset of lifelong learning, and expressed optimism that the future of the state is bright. He gave the encouragement while addressing the youths at the 2024 Enugu Leadership and Business Summit with the theme, The Role of Youths in Building a New Enugu, held at the Chapel of Redemption Resource Center, UNEC, Enugu. The event was organized by the Enugu Innovative Youth with Reverend Ambassador Chimobi Aniwene as the director. Represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Chideberonya, the governor urged the youth to remember to uplift those around them when ascending the ladder of success. I beg your pardon. He also challenged the youth to embrace the spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship and be bold in their aspirations, steadfast in their convictions, and compassionate in their actions.
To Ambassador, when you came up here, I know that the expectations are high in terms of what you want to take away from this meeting. It's a gathering like this that reminds me of the incredible power and potential that lies within each of you, the future architects of our society, specifically those of us.
Earlier in his address, the convener of the summit, Reverend Ambassador Chimobi Aniwene, expressed optimism that the summit will afford the youths an ample opportunity to be better equipped with the knowledge and skill set to impact their generation for global competitiveness.
I said to them, number one, the youth must have an understanding of who they are, because if you don't know who you are, you may not value yourself, and people will use you. So, we want to be part of what the Lord is doing in our nation, Nigeria.
Emphasis was also laid on the need for the neighborhood watch groups to be strengthened to tackle the menace of vandalism in Enugu State. Dr. Austin Okoli, a policy and management consultant who was a guest on the Good Morning Coast City program on Sunrise FM 96.1, expressed these needs and further described scavengers as also agents of vandalism. Dr. Okoli identified the place of sensitization to conscientize the public on protection of public infrastructure, explaining that such infrastructure were put in place to serve the people.
Yeah, when I'm doing vandalize ife, when they maybe say this infrastructure and the government in the thing, get able to think and can it think awful. The no governor and a government in Okita Okonopi. Kedozie Enugu Bolo Malicha, Bolo Uzuli, Bolo Kalesia. Mana if you go no no na atakase ife ya bande vandala. Fa na ebe ọkụ fa be ọkụ fa chere waya fa na akọtọ kwa ụzọ ka etiele ha mmiri ka chọrọ iwel pipe gafee na main road akọtọ iwelu pik ife ebe ndị mmadụ ji igwe wele aka na egbubi main road.
You are watching Enugu State This Week on ETV Channel 50. Enugu, do stay with us as we return shortly. Come here. We are glad to welcome you back to Enugu State This Week on ETV Channel 50. Enugu, do stay with us as we bring you the rest of the stories. In commemoration of the 2024 International Widows' Day, the wife of the Enugu State Governor, Mrs. Nkechi, within the week, gifted the 17 local government areas of the state a cash of 50,000 naira and 10 kg bag of rice each through her pet project, Custos Care Foundation, to cushion the effects of the hardship orchestrated by the state of widowhood and the current economic reality. This was evident on Wednesday at the PPSMB Hall in an event organized by the Office of the First Lady in collaboration with her foundation to mark the day with the theme Accelerating the Achievement of Gender Equality by emphasizing the strength of land and property rights for widows. Now we'll bring you the full reports.
Enugu State has commemorated the International Widows' Day. The United Nations observes 23rd of June annually as International Widows' Day to draw attention to the voices and experiences of widows and to galvanize the unique support that they need. In commemorating the International Widows' Day, it was evident at the PPSM Hall in an event organized by the Office of the First Lady in collaboration with her foundation to mark the day with theme Accelerating the Achievement of Gender Equality by emphasizing the strength of land and property rights for widows. Commending the widows for remaining resolute, resilient, and steadfast in ensuring proper care of their children and the protection of the properties left behind by their husbands, Mrs. Mba, represented by the wife of the Speaker, Enugu State House of Assembly, Mrs. Nkechi, identified vegetable and fruit selling, food kiosk, tailoring and sewing services, hairdressing and beauty services, soap and detergent making, beadwork and handicrafts as petty trades that can venture into and become self-reliant.
Widows face unique challenges, often being denied their rightful inheritance of land and property. This justice not only perpetuates poverty but also hinder our progress towards true gender equality. When widows have secured land and property rights, they lay a foundation to rebuild their lives, support the family, and contribute to the community.
She really surprised us with this big token that we didn't even expect it. We really appreciate. We thank her and her husband. We thank all the people that organized this, and we pray that the Almighty will continue to bless her and the family.
For ETV News, I am Judith Ohini.
Also in the week under review, Governor Peter Mba was at the Aso Presidential Villa where he bagged a prestigious award of the micro, small and medium enterprises for his giant strides in the MSME subsector in Enugu State. Presenting the award on behalf of the President Bola Tinubu, the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Ibrahim Dadeja, described Governor Mba as one of the most IT-savvy individuals he had ever met.
Our third recipient is no other person than someone who my principal describes as changing the leadership strategy, not only in Enugu State, but in the whole of the Southeast. His Excellency Governor Peter Mba is one of the most IT-savvy individuals I've ever met. And he's putting a lot of that experience and knowledge into governance in Enugu State. And he also recognizes the impact that MSMEs have, not just on the labor market, but on productivity and on increase in economic activity in his state. So without much ado, it is my honor and privilege on behalf of the Vice President, Your Excellency, to present you with the MSME Award for 2024.
A group of estate surveyors and valuers in the week gave a resounding commendation to Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State for the remarkable progress made in land administration reforms, security, and infrastructure in the state in the past 1 year, stating that no country in the world has ever developed without proper and policy administration. The group, Ubosi, Ele and Co., gave the commendation during the courtesy visit to Government House, Enugu, on Wednesday to notify and invite the governor to a workshop for estate surveyors and valuers holding in Enugu. Now the reports.
The group of professionals led by Surveyor Emeka Ele listed the enactment of the Enugu State Geographic Information Services Law, legislation to fight land grabbers, and the effort to correct the illegalities committed on property development in the state as commendable steps towards repositioning the state for exponential socio-economic development. Ele said Mba had repositioned Enugu as the right place to do business in Nigeria, expressing delight about the state's 2024 budget, which consists of only 107.2 billion naira, which represents 21% recurrent expenditure, and 414.3 billion naira, which represents 79% capital expenditure.
And I'm very delighted to say that it will be very correct. To see evidence of governance. And I call studying your budget for 2024. And I was amazed that for the first time we are seeing a government budget and place more emphasis on capital projects, unlike before when the budget is more. I mean, that was a very good sign that we were spread to be in the Enugu State.
Responding, Governor Mba assured of his administration's commitment to make Enugu State the hub of investment, business, tourism, and living.
The laws, as they were, seek to address are essentially the things that you have highlighted in your remarks, because we understand the value, the significance, and the importance of land ownership and how we can develop robust policy around it. We promise the people here in Enugu and those who are going to be coming in as investors that our target is to ensure that within 72 hours of the application of their certificate of occupancy that it is issued by the government. So we want to be able to, from when you apply and when you get your certificate of occupancy, 72 hours, you have your certificate.
He listed the Enugu State Geographic Information Service, the new Enugu City, aggressive road construction, restoration of water supply to the capital city, radical reforms in land administration, the actualization of the power to regulate and drive power generation, transmission and distribution in the state, among others, as parts of the efforts to improve ease of doing business in the southeast states. For ETV News, I am Judith Ohini.
And in sports, the excitement and jubilation in Enugu, as captured in our previous episode of the program, over the NPFL victory by Rangers International Football Club of Enugu, extended to the week under review. It was indeed in the week that the real victory was defined, as the Flying Antelopes were crowned champions of the Nigerian Premier Football League 2023-2024 season after a just 48 formality last game with Gombe United in Jos that yielded a 2-1 win for the Coal City side. The Flying Antelopes have by this victory clinched their 8th league title with amazing 70 points from 38 matches. Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutwang and his counterparts from Enugu State, Dr. Peter Mba, were among dignitaries who witnessed the match. And with that story from the sporting world, we've got to wrap it up on today's outing of Enugu State this week. But before we go, do remember that you can follow us on our social media handles on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Enugu ESBS, on Instagram, Enugu ESBS, on Facebook, ESBS Enugu, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at ESBS Enugu 042. We do sincerely appreciate you for your attention, while promising to appear fresh with another package of the program next week. Till then, and on behalf of the producer, Sam Udekwe, and the production team, I thank you immensely for watching. My name is Precious Chukwuekezie. Have a wonderful evening.